Bismillah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Today we're going to look at OCH compliance risk mitigation for Afgoi district projects using a Malaysian OCH system. Project overview. If we look at the project overview, what we can see is, first of all, the scope, risk, and regulatory benchmark. As I said, we're going to use Malaysian OCH system because Somalia currently lacks a standardized system. So also, the scope will be of Goi district, as well as we're going to look at risks. So probably we can look at high risk activities like the ones I've mentioned here: installation, PF installation at height, electrical works, lifting, and hot work. So make safety counts. Why OCH compliance matters. So we have to look, why does this thing matters? The reason is we have to prevent vitalities, injuries, and environmental damage. So we have to protect the workers. So they are, these human beings have rights. So we should preserve their rights and should avoid anything that could cause harm to the environment as well as the human beings, or also as you call it, the workers. So you should regulatory alignment with global standards, improve productivity and worker morale. Those are the things that make this OCH compliance matter. These financial loss, delays, and repetition risk. How on earth would they be financial loss? Imagine you have 100 workers and 50 of them get injured and they have insurance. So if you don't take precautions and proactive approaches to protect them, you'll have to invest a lot in insurance, and that will make financial loss as well as the human resource loss. So that would be one example of how important protecting workers is. Also, we have to you have to think supporting sustainable renewable energy deployment. So, and the conservation of the environment is everyone's is something that everyone should take part of. So, as an organization, you have, or as a project manager, you have responsibility to make sure it's embedded in every stage. So, as I told you, we will have a benchmark OCH framework, which will be imported from Malaysia. So probably we'll look to everything that we want, every rule that or regulations or compliance or moral values that we're going to use in this project will be referenced Malaysian system. So including OCH 1994 Act, employee duties, OCH policy committees, incident reporting. So all these are laws that exist in Malaysia that support OCH framework. So project phases and key risks. We have to know every phase of the project and the risks that can come from. So if we look at site preparation, what sort of the problems that can come from. So we'll write a logs of the problems that can come from, and then we'll look into solutions and mitigation strategies that we can use, whether we can eliminate, so forth and so on, substitute, or we can mitigate the whole risk. So practical HRARC breakdown. So first, hazard identification is very important. We have to identify what sort of hazards can we expect in this project. So including the following given ones: excavation, lifting, hot work, electrical tasks, because we're doing installing a grid that would be some of the identified hazards. For now, risk assessment. How would you assess risk? First of all, you have to identify likelihood, then insecurity. So then you'll have a risk assessment. Okay, risk control. Next, how would you control? So we'll follow standardized steps. First, elimination. We'll eliminate if it's possible. We'll substitute a better option if it's possible. Then engineering controls. Then we'll use administrative tasks. Then in the next slide, we will see top 5 critical hazard identified, and these are the given ones. And as I mentioned in the previous slides, just recapping from there, essential control measures for site safety. So what are the essential controls that we can use? Fast engine shoring, bearings and scaffolding, certified cranes and lifting gear. So these are engineering ways we can control. Administrative controls we can use, including permit to work, toolbox talks, supervision and inspection, as well as, or we can use BPA harness or welding masks, safety boots and helmets. These are the sort of essential controls or measures we should take. Ensuring legal and safety compliance on site. So following these regulations, we'll be able to control damages and make sure that put parts beneath it. So first of all, legal register. We have to look, as a project manager, you have a role. Every person has a role so the project manager, HSE manager and HSE officer. These are the sort of what's called responsibility assignments. So everyone will be given a role that can be assigned to them. Then we'll have implementing an OZH roadmap. So we need a roadmap, something to follow with. So these are the roadmaps. Mandatory OZH training is very important to train. Not only train, but getting feedback as well. So when you train people, are they practicing what you teach them? That's important to follow it up. Permit to work system for high risk activities, control authorization process for hazard tasks, full BPE reimbursement. You have to do that. It's very important. Emergency preparedness. So what if something happens? So you should be able to have everything in place in order to make sure that hazards are maximized, or as soon as they come, we'll have emergency aid ready. Monthly audits and contract compliance checks. Regular reviews to maintain standards and accountability is very important. So practical environmental management plan. This is a management plan that we can use to preserve the environment, waste segregation, recycling, soil and water protection, dust and noise control. These are all important steps or ways we can manage the environment. So discussion and reflection. This is kind of reflect what we discussed, and then strengths the challenge and mitigation actions for safe operation. Malaysian OZH standard provides structured safety governance. It provides all the necessary foundations needed to establish a good structure. Issues hazard prioritization. HRARC issues hazard prioritization, risk assessment and control process. Also, strong alignment with international best practice, consistent with global OZH benchmarks. As developed country Malaysia is, it helps us deal with the project problems, workforce competence gap, limited local OZH. So first, the most important thing is to take care of the environment, as well as and to ensure everyone is safe, healthy, so that the project can be done on time, on budget, and scope, and everything can happen smoothly when the stakeholders, including everyone, and the project is safe, healthy, as well as the environment. So I'll conclude my presentation here. Thank you.